In the chaotic world of combat sports, there's a peculiar phenomenon that happens far too often. Fighters, inflated with ego and puffed-up pride, find their confidence louder than their punch. They step into the spotlight flanked by bravado, trash talk, and theatrical antics. But when the bell rings, when it's time to put up or shut up, they often crumble like paper under pressure. In this tale of comeuppance and combat karma, we revisit some of the most jaw-dropping moments when trash talkers got a taste of their own medicine. Adrien Broner, famously loudmouthed and brash, embodied everything wrong with pre-fight arrogance. In 2013, his opponent was Marcos Maidana, a no-nonsense Argentine brawler with heavy fists and a bigger chip on his shoulder. Broner, never shy about race-baiting trash talk, callously mocked Maidana with one of the most distasteful remarks in boxing history. "I just beat the sh*t out of a Mexican," he screamed after a previous fight, coining the term, the can man. Anybody can get it. Africans, Mexicans, Americans. No one was safe from his ignorance. But when he met Maidana in the ring, the loud American learned a lesson in humility that was broadcast to 1.3 million viewers. Maidana didn't come to take selfies or chase clout. He came to make Broner pay. From the opening bell, Broner knew he was in trouble. He tried to clown his way out of trouble by humping Maidana against the ropes, a bizarre move that showed his desperation and mental unraveling. But Maidana wasn't interested in theatrics. He was there to deliver violence. And in round 2, the Argentinian unleashed a brutal barrage that sent Broner stumbling into a clumsy, embarrassing chicken dance, a moment that boxing fans immortalized in memes. Maidana dropped him again in the 8th, his punches carving into Broner's spirit. The judges saw it clear, 115 to 110, 116 to 109, 117 to 109. Broner left the ring not just defeated but humiliated, his trash talk exposed as empty noise. Then came March 2019, when New Zealand's Hemi Ahio, known as the Heat, faced Julius Long, a literal giant. Long, who had nearly a 20-inch reach advantage, came into the fight dressed as the final boss in a bad video game. He talked endlessly, promising to fry his opponent like a Thanksgiving turkey, bragging about cooking grease, oil, and pies in his bag. His trash talk was as long-winded as he was tall. At the weigh-in, he played tough, throwing mock punches and towering over Ahio. But the Tongan Tyson remained unmoved, smiling with quiet confidence. The ring would be his reply as the bell rang. Long played the clown, holding Ahio's head like a baby, mugging to the crowd, throwing lazy jabs, and talking as if he had already won. But boxing doesn't reward delusion. Suddenly, a crushing left hook from Ahio exploded on Long's chin. The giant staggered, his legs giving way, his senses scattered. He crashed to the canvas, head slamming on the mat like a falling redwood. For all his talk, Julius Long got dropped like a sack of potatoes, folded by a man half his size but twice his heart. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Next, we fast-forward to July 25, 2023, in Ariake Arena, Tokyo. The monster, Naoya Inoue, had his eyes set on becoming a 4-division world champion. Standing in his way was the undefeated American, Stephen Fulton Jr., the reigning king of the super bantamweights. Fulton wasn't just confident. He was condescending. He downplayed Inoue's accomplishments, saying the hype only existed because Inoue was Japanese. Power doesn't win fights. Skill does. That's why I'm here, he said. But Inoue wasn't interested in debates. He let his fists do the talking. From the opening round, Inoue hunted Fulton like prey. The American, taller and longer, was cornered, outmaneuvered, and systematically dismantled. In round 8, Inoue unleashed a savage right hand that made Fulton stumble back, then a left hook that shut off his consciousness like a light switch. The referee had seen enough. Fulton's words dissolved into thin air, replaced by the crushing echo of Inoue's fists. That day, Japanese pride crushed American arrogance. Another loudmouth who got silenced in dramatic fashion was Caleb Plant. Known for his slick talk and sucker punch antics, Plant dared to swing at Canelo Alvarez during a face-off, only to be met with a lightning-fast two-piece combo from the Mexican star. When they finally met in the ring on November 6, 2021, Canelo was all business. Plant tried his usual antics, dancing, moving, talking, but Canelo's punches were like sledgehammers. In round 11, after 10 rounds of attrition, Canelo crushed Plant with a ferocious uppercut and left hook combination. Plant hit the canvas, got up, and got dropped again. Silence. The bravado was gone. What remained was respect, earned the hard way. In July 2019, Manny Pacquiao faced Keith Thurman, an undefeated American known as One Time for his knockout power. But Thurman also had a big mouth. He mocked Pacquiao's age and his love of basketball, even calling him a bunny rabbit. "I'm not losing to no bunny rabbit," he joked. But Pacquiao wasn't laughing. In the very first round, he dropped Thurman with a thunderous right hook. The American's face said it all. He was stunned. As the rounds passed, Pacquiao peppered him with combinations, freezing him in place. Despite his youth and size advantage, Thurman was overwhelmed by Pacquiao's speed and ring IQ. When the scorecards came in, the decision was split, but the reality was clear. The bunny rabbit had mauled the lion. No fighter was more terrifying than Mike Tyson in his prime, and no opponent talked trash with more arrogance than Frank Bruno. Bruno, heavier, taller, with a longer reach, claimed he would wipe Tyson off the map and send him into promoter Don King's lap. But when the bell rang, Tyson turned Bruno's face into a canvas. In round 1, Tyson's hooks landed like sledgehammers. By the second round, he unleashed an unrelenting combination of uppercuts and hooks that folded Bruno like origami. The referee had no choice but to save Bruno from himself. Trash talk had met Iron Mike, and it never stood a chance. Another victim of his own mouth was Billy Joe Saunders. In May 2021, the cocky British southpaw predicted he would knock out Canelo Alvarez in 3 rounds. He pranced around the ring, stuck his tongue out, and showboated, but when Canelo caught him with a thunderous uppercut in round 8, the consequences were instant. Saunders' orbital bone shattered. He couldn't see out of his right eye. When he returned to his corner, his team stopped the fight. He shook his head, signaling defeat. Since then, Saunders hasn't returned to the ring. Canelo's fists ended more than just a fight. They ended a career. Edison Miranda, the Colombian with a gangster aura and loud mouth, found himself humbled on April 17th when he faced Lucian Bute for the IBF title. Miranda, known for taunting his opponents, tried to psyche Bute out with his usual theatrics. But the Romanian-Canadian champion had no time for games. In round 3, Bute landed a picture-perfect uppercut that dropped Miranda face first. Miranda staggered to his feet, but he was clearly done. The referee waved it off. Miranda's mouth, for once, had no reply. Lamont Roach Jr. was considered an underdog when he fought Hector Luis Garcia. Garcia, cocky and dismissive, promised to silence Roach. But in round 9, Roach landed a brutal right hand that dropped Garcia. Garcia, stunned and panicking, claimed grease had gotten in his eye. The referee, surprisingly, bought the excuse and didn't rule it a knockdown. The fight ended in a majority draw, but had the knockdown been counted properly, Roach would have handed Garcia his first loss. Karma nearly made its full delivery. Antonio Nieves, another American who downplayed Naoya Inoue's accomplishments, questioned the monster's resume before stepping into the ring. "He hasn't fought anyone. They just stand in front of him. He's only been fighting in Japan," he said. But once the fight began, Inoue punished the bravado with blistering body shots. In round 5, Nieves was floored, face etched in pain. He got up, only to receive more punishment to the ribs and liver. By round 6, Nieves' corner threw in the towel. Inoue had broken his body, and his pride. Bob Sapp, the human behemoth and self-proclaimed destroyer, had long conned audiences into believing his hype. But when he faced Polish strongman Mariusz Pudzianowski, the mask slipped. Sapp released mocking videos before the fight, promising to embarrass the Polish powerhouse. Instead, Pudzianowski ragdolled him from the opening bell. He mounted Sapp and pummeled him mercilessly, turning the fight into a savage beatdown. The crowd roared. The hype was dead. Then there was Bor Abdulaziz, a cocky welterweight with a 7-fight win streak. Known for dirty tricks and vile disrespect, Bor finally met his reckoning in Mascot Ebilot. Calm and precise, Mascot mauled him from every angle, dropped him with leg kicks, then finished him off with a beatdown that had the ref hesitating to step in. Bor's career was never the same again. Another brash fighter, Magomed Vakayv, met his karma in Tony Johnson. After exchanging pleasantries at the weigh-in, Vakayev's cockiness bubbled into arrogance. He fought hard, but Johnson fought smarter. In the end, a well-timed right hand sealed his fate. Vakayev's ego, not his chin, had been his downfall, and no tale of trash talk would be complete without Ricardo Mayorga. The Nicaraguan was a legend of vulgarity, disrespecting Shane Mosley's son and even groping his girlfriend before the fight. But Mosley didn't play. He picked Mayorga apart for 6 rounds before landing a bomb that sent him crashing to the mat. Mayorga cried foul, claiming a low blow, but the referee had seen enough. Justice, poetic and brutal, had been delivered. These are the stories of fighters who let their mouths lead them to disaster. They stepped into the spotlight confident they'd break their opponents, only to find themselves broken. In the end, boxing remains the great equalizer. It doesn't care about your Instagram following, your clever insults, or your delusions of grandeur. When the gloves are on and the bell rings, only skill, heart, and discipline survive.